Jay Bills for me to Spotlight UK, reunited after a very long time with Tempo Arts.
6 months. About 6 months now, isn't it?
It's been quite a couple of months. I think it's Prime Card that I saw you last.
Yeah.
When you actually won the title.
Yeah. But, mate, I'm happy with that. I've got the title there, the belt. Big up the belt. Mate, it actually weighs so much. It's like 5 kilos or something. It's heavy.
Do you carry it with you? I'm curious. Do you carry it around with you everywhere, or is it just a thing like just selected times that you carry it?
Honestly, I ain't left my room for about 6 months. This is the first time it's been out of my room. Yeah. I just keep it in there. I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I'm keeping that.
Because I know, like in the WWE, that like a lot of wrestlers have to take their belts with them on the road. In your case, it's probably just you leave it home. When the right time comes, you just bring it with you.
Because I don't want it to change me, like, and be like, oh yeah, I'm champion. Because some people let that be their personalities. I see in like other sports and stuff. So I just bring it out when I have to. Like now, they asked me to bring the belt, so I was like, all right, I'll bring the belt.
Well, I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen you last, so I just want to recap firstly on your fight with Chase Demoor. Obviously, there's been a lot of opinions in terms of people thinking that Chase won, people thinking that you won. Reflecting on the fight in terms of your performance, like obviously you won the title. Have you seen the fight in terms of reflecting, and what did you make of your performance?
Yeah, he landed 0 body shots, I landed 53 body shots. People just look at the headshots and think, I landed headshots as well as body shots. Whereas if one person's just going for the head, it looks like he's doing way more than obviously if I'm just jabbing one body for the 4 rounds. But people can have their own opinions. The judges were the people that did the same as Canelo's fight, same as, every pro fight. So they judge it based off scoring points and who's like going forward the most and stuff like that. But I think people just watch highlights and just,
So obviously it's not like the whole thing in perspective. So when you've seen it, you've looked back on what you were landing and what he was landing. Would it be something in terms of a rematch down the line? I mean, if should it be you win your fight against Ben Knights, would you want to revisit that fight? Or, because there's quite a few people in the heavyweight division, but, not as many as I'm seeing at the moment.
Yeah, there's not many heavy fighters, but I thought I was going to be fighting Chase this time. But he had a Netflix documentary or something he's doing, so he couldn't fight this time. But I'll definitely fight him, after or whenever he's ready, I guess. But yeah.
Well, I mean, your opponent Ben Knights, he's been a part of HS Tiki Toki's, boxing events. He's come into the fray like he's your opponent. What do you make of him as a fighter? I've seen footage of him on the pads. You're speedy on the pads as of late. I've seen some footage of you doing that. What do you make of him as a fighter and as a person overall?
Well, I never look at the pads because you can be like world champion on the pads, but then when you get hit, it goes out the window. But yeah, he's had like I'd say 15 fights, not all in front of a crowd, but on HS's thing. I think he's a good fighter. This is his debut on Misfits, but he's had other fights before, like loads of fights. So he has a lot of experience. I have 3 fights, but it's been in front of about 10,000, 20,000 people. So yeah.
So how do you think the dynamics will be different? Because you just mentioned that you've had a few fights, but among thousands of people. In his case, it's done multiple fights, more than you, but a different, in a smaller amount of audience, according to what you're saying. Would that weigh up in terms of balancing, how things will go in the fight between you two, or would it not make a difference?
I think he'll be more nervous about the crowd than me because I've fought in front of the crowd before. I don't even think about it. He's fought like basically sparring matches, like heavy sparring matches, just in front of the gym. So I don't know. We'll see how he is because I've seen him fight in front of a crowd before and he got stopped first round against that Jack guy. But it was a short stoppage, obviously. But yeah, I think he might get nerves get to him. But yeah, we'll see.
Do you think that Ben would be the toughest opponent? Because I know when we spoke last, you mentioned that Chase, up to that point, was your toughest opponent from all the fights you've had. Where does Ben potentially rank in this instance? Because this will be your fourth fight in total?
This will be my 4th fight. I think, I don't know until I get in there because he could be way better than Chase or worse. As he said, it's the first time he's ever trained for a fight without like smoking and stuff. So we'll see how he goes with that. I've been in camp since, I don't even know how long. I had like 2 camps now, like for this fight, because the fight's got moved, like dates. So I'm fit, I'm ready to go. 5 3-minute rounds, but it's not going to go that long, so yeah.
And how's camp been in general? Because obviously, you've been active last year for a number of fights. How's the time between, October to now? You've had 6 months. How do you feel that you've improved even more? Because you probably had more time in the gym to prepare yourself to having your first fight this year.
Yeah, mainly I was just working on knee rehab, so like squatting, or I can actually squat again, I can do body weight. For the Chase fight, I was doing no weights, didn't do any weights. Now I'm lifting again, lifting heavy numbers like I used to. I can bench like 140 again, kg. I'm strong again. Whereas last one, I just stopped weightlifting and I was just doing cardio, so it's a bit different.
And I've got to touch on the fact that there was in London in the York Hall, there was the heavyweight fight between Minacon and Armz. And at the time, it was promoted that whoever wins out of them two would be in line up to face you for the championship. Was that planned originally in terms of, those would be one of your opponents next? Like, what was the talks there before? Obviously, now you're facing Ben.
Yeah, I was going to fight Armz, but obviously he has to lose weight now before he fights. But I don't want to be the first one to fight him because he's almost died twice now. And I don't want to, like, if he does die in a ring, which is hopefully not, I don't want that to be on my conscience. I want him to fight and prove that he can do 5 rounds because he's fighting 3 rounds and he almost died. So I don't want to fight him for 5 rounds and he's, you know what I mean? I don't want to have that on my conscience of someone dying or something in the ring.
I know he's constantly in the gym, he's constantly fighting.
He does weights too much, I think. Like, he mainly does weights for his cardio, I'd say. And he's just going to stay big, I think. He needs to lose like 20 kilos, I'd say.
Do you reckon that's his downfall in terms of, is what you're saying in terms of that's all he's doing?
Yeah, it comes with, like, his power comes with, other stuff that come with it. So, I don't know, he does need to lose about 15, 20 kg, I'd say, before he gets like 5 rounds. Because he's just pure muscle, so it's hard to handle it,
Because I know that when I saw the fight, like the first couple of rounds, like, there was the technique that was very similar to KSI when he fights. But I noticed that as the rounds went along, he couldn't really maintain that, as far as what I saw anyway. And there's nothing against Armz, but it's what from I saw. Did you reckon that was the same approach when you saw the fight?
Yeah, he was trying to do the Mike and Vernon Page where he just bounces like that. But as a heavyweight, I don't think that's a good style. But I think he wastes his move, like he does a lot of movement and he wastes his energy, I think. But yeah, I want to see him fight someone else before he fights me to prove that he can do it because I don't want to have that. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, obviously, you're making a comeback. Your first fight of 2024 against Ben. How many fights are you looking to do this year? Like, what have you got an idea in mind of how many fights?
Yeah, I want 3 fights this year, so this is my first one, and then I want 2 more after this. I want to fight 3 times a year, every single year. That's in my contract, so last year I couldn't do it because I was injured. So this year I'll do 3 fights.
And should it be that you win against Ben, who else are you looking towards? I know, obviously, Armz we just talked about, but obviously that might be more further down the line. Is there anyone else that you're thinking of at this point?
Yeah, True Geordie I'd like to fight. He said that I've never been hit by...
Oh, yes, I remember when we first met, you said you wanted to fight him then too.
He just spoke about it, I think it was like a few days ago. He said that I've never been hit by an actual heavyweight, even though I have. Like, I must have sparred about 20 times with people like 25 stone, like heavy hitters. So I've been hit by loads of heavyweights, but... If he wants to show me what a real heavyweight hits like, then I'm down for it, mate. He said I was too young. I'm almost 20 now, so I'm up in age now.
So is that like the pinnacle, like with True Geordie, or is there like other people that you might consider?
True Geordie's definitely like the dream fight because he's massive on social media. I've been watching him for about 8 years, so it'd be good to fight someone like that.
All right then. Well, I mean, welcome back to the Misfit scene. I know things between you and Ben. We'll see how things go on fight week. What can we expect in terms of fight week, fight night? What's the energy that things have been given at the moment?
I think it's mutual respect, but like when we're in the ring, it'll be war. I think he's going to come at me, trying to gas me out and stuff. But I have my own tactics I'm going to do to him. So yeah.
So no friends in the ring, friends afterwards.
Friends afterwards, definitely. He's a nice guy. So yeah.
All right, well, I wish you all the best. It's good to catch up after 6 months. Hopefully we can see each other a lot more and do more of these. But I'll most likely see you on fight week anyway. And I wish you all the best, brother.
I appreciate it.